Divine greetings and gratitude, everyone. If y'all are new here, my name is Nuna. I am the seer, the oracle, the witch, the wise woman of the Saiyonan archives. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And if y'all are returning, hey family, welcome back to our sacred space. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. I know that you guys saw the title of the video, and more than likely that is the reason why you clicked. I wanted to give a quick disclaimer. I usually will not do readings like this on any of my public platforms. However, I'm going to do this reading so that you guys can understand the kind of readings that I will be doing behind the scenes over at the Saiyonan archives on my website that I will have linked down in the description box as well as down in the comment section. The reason why we're doing this reading today is because upon waking up this rising, when I was shifting in between sleep and waking up, actually, I heard that the United States was going to continue to unravel itself, and that we would continue to see that play out over the course of maybe the next 3 or so years. It's going to take a while, but what I heard was that we are going to start seeing more of their systems start to unravel, and there is a major push for community right now. I have been saying this for like the past, I want to say couple of years, a few years now. I've been saying this behind the scenes, and I've also been saying this on my Magic of Eden YouTube channel, which I'm reserving for something very specific. All the teachings and things that I have will live here as well as on my website, where I'm going to start to create a more private platform for our Saiyonians, if you will. That's just like the best word that I can come up with. But I am definitely in the process of creating the Saiyonan circle, which is going to be behind the scenes, where I give updates and I do readings such as this. So take this as an example of the kind of readings that we're going to be doing behind the scenes. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I have everything linked down in the description box as well as in the comment section, so make sure that you check both. Make sure that you do me a favor and give this video a like, and also share this with people that you believe can benefit from it, and also make sure that you subscribe. Please remember that if you are pressing the subscribe button, that you are not a subscriber, but rather you are someone who is actively choosing to be a part of the Saiyonan circle, and that we are a part of the same soul tribe and we are in covenant with the divine. That is what you are agreeing to. I do not see you as a subscriber. I do not see you as a subordinate. I do not see you as anything like that. I don't see you as anyone who should be who should be subservient to anyone else. This is a space where we are called to remember. So we're going to be working with the Egyptian tarot, as you can see here. We're also going to be working with the Lenormand deck, and I may or may not pull cards here from this gold foil tarot, but we're going to leave this to the side and see what's up. But I was called to use the Egyptian tarot for something very specific, and so I'm going to just allow spirit to speak through me. Again, I did hear that the United States will continue to unravel itself, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of that over the coming years, and that we need to start getting the things in order that we need to get in order. Okay, this is not one of those things where I'm going to push any fear mongering. This is one of those things where I'm going to be honest with you about what's coming through. Also, I do have children who are in the background. If you hear anything, it's because my 3-year-old he likes to, I don't want to say nitpick, but he likes to kind of mess with his brothers sometimes when he's bored and whatnot. Dad is getting out of the shower and whatnot, but I can hear everything. I can hear everything. Also, we have cameras, so everything is fine. As a matter of fact, there's Dad right on time. Dad has just entered the chat. All right, so you guys are going to hear probably Dad in the background. I'll do the best that I can to mute everything here. All right, so thank you so much, Spirit, for entering into this space and for being present as always. Thank you so much for protecting me as the one who is the reader. Okay, this card wants to show up. That's the 3 of Swords that popped out in reverse. I don't know if you guys seen that, but that is the first card. We're going to leave that card out because it wants to show up. Thank you so much, Spirit, for giving me whatever messages that we need right now to hear, for my soul child to hear. Thank you so much for allowing me to be the vessel that relays any messages that we need right now. I ask that you please speak to me so that we can know whatever it is that you have for us right now. I immerse myself into you. I immerse myself into you now. I am open I am grateful. I am protected. It is so. Okay. Remember when I mentioned the word community? Exactly. One of the cards. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. I had to wait until that jet or whatever that was, or whatever aircraft that was, to fly over. If y'all don't know this, I'm actually in Virginia. I moved here from California, so I moved right where there's like a base. I'm around a base, so you guys are gonna hear that probably very often. So basically, we do have the Three of Cups here, and this definitely is a card of community. It is a card that indicates that there is some type of circle. There is some type of circle or gathering, but in this instant, it's not. It doesn't feel like a gathering that you're not here to party. Like what it feels like is that there's something that is going on, and I'm hearing that it's very swift. There's going to come a time where things are going to happen very quickly, and things are 100% changing very abruptly. It almost kind of feels like it's one of those things where with the Three of Swords here, it's like, okay, you've had time. Like, I don't know why I'm hearing like you had time. I'm going to be honest with you. There's some people right now who need healing, and Spirit is never going to rush you when it comes to your healing, right? The Spirit will never rush you. It will never be one of those things, but it is one of those things where you want to start to get with people who are, exactly, you want to get with people, and you want to get with a soul group that is going to help you, because there's so many things that are going on in the world. There's so many things that are changing, and so what we need is community. One of the things that I'm hearing is the word divided. There was a great division, and there will be, there's going to be, what I'm hearing is like another great division. And Spirit is wanting to remind you not to turn on your neighbor. Spirit is asking for you not to turn on them, but to be open, but to be wise, and to ensure that you have compassion, but that you also allow yourself to be led by reason and also your intuition. Your intuition will always lead you to the right reasoning. And what I'm seeing here is that we are definitely going to need that. What I do see is that the Justice card is coming up in reverse, and we also have the Strength card. I do feel like what I'm seeing, and what I'm hearing is a bunch of voices. And what I'm seeing is that there's people who are scattered around trying to figure out what to do, and they're not really sure. So it's almost kind of like this whispering. I was like, what are we doing? Like, what do we do? Like, I'm not sure. Like, what do we do? And Spirit is saying is that right now you have time to plan. Spirit is wanting us to plan, and Spirit is wanting us to put our differences aside. And the reason is because something definitely is going to hit the fan, not in a way that is going to be, I don't want to say that it's going to be permanently disrupted, but there's something that is happening that is going to bring a lot. Why is the word is permanent? It's what, oh, I love that. See, this is what we needed. Oh, okay. I love that. I love this. Okay. This is making me feel a lot better. I don't know what the word permeance means, but I do need to find, I don't have my phone on me right now. I'm actually going to go get my phone in just a second to see what permeance means and how it applies to this reading. But Spirit is saying is that we really do want to be in a space where we can love, where we can come together, because we're going to need community we're going to need community. I'm also feeling like, again, it feels like there will be a separation. And the separation, meaning the word that I'm hearing right now is classes. I know that we've already seen it. I know that we're already seeing it. I'm letting you guys know right now, the fact that we're headed where we're headed when it comes to healthcare and all of these different things, there is a great division coming. And I want you to understand that we ourselves can and we will do this together. I have been saying this for a while now. You want to make friends with people who are in different types of fields. You want to make sure that you know people who who are herbalists. You want to know your magicians. You want to know your physicists. You want to know your scientists, right? Like, you want to know your mathematicians. Like, you want to make sure that you know people who are well versed, and you yourself are well versed. Like, you want to get to know your poets. You want to get to know your artists, which we can go into artistry later, because I found some new information about artistry, and I don't really want to get into that right now, not until I've done an extensive amount of research. Enough research, I want to say. So this really does feel like there's something that definitely is brewing, that is happening, that is going to help us to come together. But the fact that the United States is unraveling itself, what this means is that we're making more room for community. I feel like it's happening more rapidly than we think, and I feel like the word rapid is coming through, not just necessarily as, you know, like weeks and things like that. Rapidly could mean within like the next few years, within the next few years or so, within maybe like the next 3 to 5 years. There is this rapid changing that is happening right now, and what we are called to do is to put these differences aside, and to put aside what has hurt us, so that we can allow ourselves to heal, so that we can come together, because we are stronger together as a unit than we are separate and apart. And I feel like when we come together, that's when we'll be able to not only change things, but also create a world where we all can thrive. And that's just me being honest, right? We have the Sun card. I love that. We have the Sun card. We have all these cards coming out. That's so interesting. Hang on one second. I think this might be the Page of Swords. Yeah, that's definitely the Page of Swords. So we have the Page of Swords that is also here. We also have the Moon card that is here as well. And we have the Sun card. I feel like this is going to be during it's a full moon. This could definitely be pointing to the full moon in Capricorn. I'm going to look at the chart for that to see what's going on, and then I'll do another reading. By the time I post this, it'll be after I get my computer back, because my computer actually right now is in the shop, so I won't be able to upload this until after it's fixed. But if you guys can see this here, you have the Moon card here and you have the Sun card here. So essentially, whenever the Sun and the Moon are conjunct, basically you have a new moon. But when they're opposite, you have a full moon. So essentially, the fact that we have the moon here and then we have the Sun here, there definitely is something that is being illuminated. This is pointing me actually to an opposition, and it's pointing me to a full moon. So I'm feeling like this could have everything to do, or not everything to do, but this 100% could have something to do with the full moon that we have coming up, or this could definitely take place during a full moon. So what this makes me feel like is that there definitely is something that is being revealed about the shadow. There's something that is being revealed about the internal world. There's something that is being revealed. This illusion is, we're going to start seeing past the illusion, and because of that, there's going to come a time where we are wanting to come together even more. This, to me, with the Ten of Pentacles is coming up, this is what I've been saying for a while, and I don't mean to sound abrasive about it, but I'm going to start being a bit more rigorous. And the reason why is because I feel like these are things that have been said, and I know that sometimes people put it off because they don't want to hear things that are going to disrupt their nervous system, which I 100% get. So this is not meant to disrupt your nervous system. This is meant for me to be honest, so that we can all be prepared. I feel like we need right now to come together gardens. If you are someone that has access to a community garden, then go ahead and maybe start donating to that garden, or look for community gardens. If you are someone that sets your intention for starting a community garden, do you really want to start seeing how you can do that? Do you have the resources? Get with people who can guide you down that path. You may not be able to do that right now, but that does not mean that it won't be needed in the future. You're going to need that in the future. Community is going to be everything. Now, there's something that came through earlier today when I was talking to my partner, when I was giving him the download as well, because first and foremost, I always address my family. I always address I always address my king at home, right? And it's not the fact that I'm subservient to him. No, we know that divine feminine is the ruler of all, right? So we know that. So it's not like I'm reporting to him. him, but I do let him know. And so one of the things that I did mention was that I know that we have this mindset of, I gotta save myself, I gotta save myself. Spirit is saying is that yes, you definitely do want to save yourself, but at the same time, you want to lend a hand to your neighbor. Spirit is saying now that we need to be able to lend our hands to the neighbors. Do not turn on your neighbor unless your neighbor has already turned. Then do what you must do, but at the same time, there is always another way. The reason why things are happening now is because there was a discord or a disconnect or even a server or something that was unfair in terms of democracy, in terms of money, in terms of wealth. And what's being evened out right now is wealth. And I don't know why I'm hearing like distribution or like reparations. When you are dealing with any type of government, you have to force them. And I'm not saying this for you to be forceful for no reason. They don't understand any other language than you making them do what they do, right? And this is a type of energy that they don't want you to see. And the reason why they don't is because they know that the more that you know, the less bullshit that they can pull on you. I know because I have lived it. People around me have seen it. And it's not me flexing. It's me saying that as someone who was dominant with Capricorn energy, who was dominant with Saturn-like energy and with Jupiter energy, I've dealt with these people head on. I know the tactics. I know not all of them, right? I'm not gonna say I know all, but I do know some tactics. What they want you to do is that they want you to be scared. They want you to be divided. They want you to turn against each other because it makes their whatever they're doing a lot easier. Now, I know that there are a lot of things that I did not say in this story. I may or may not share that in another story time, but all you need to know is that one, that I am not lying. Two, that I'm saying this because for a reason. The reason is because they want you to feel scattered. They want you to feel scared. They continuously do this and they continuously pull, bullshit, right? Because they know that more than likely you're going to comply. I'm letting you know now, there are so many things that this government has done, that these powers that be have done, but not without some type of consent and foolery and fuckery. Okay? I hope at this point that you guys do not have kids around, because I don't want to censor myself and I'm not going to, right? This is really just an example of some of the readings, again, that we'll have over in the Saiyonan archives behind the scenes. So what I'm also feeling is that, again, we are stronger together than we are apart. I do feel like the fact that the Page of Swords here, I'm hearing with this a public announcement. There's going to be some kind of public announcement. It's going to be regarding money. It's going to be, you have to be very careful with, you have to listen deeply to the words that they use and start to do the research on the words that they are using. Because by now, if you guys are here in the Saiyonan archives, you know that words are spells. But not only are they spells, they conceal, they hide, they trick, and all of those things using words. I want you to pay attention to the words that they use, okay? Refugees. Look up what it means to be a refugee. Look up what it means to be a citizen. Look up what it means to be a state citizen. Look up what it means to be sovereign. Look at these terms, right? Look up what it means to be black. Look up what it means to be white. Look at all these terms, but I don't want you to just go to just Google. I want you to go to books. I want you to go to law books and things like that. I'll make sure that I link some things down that you guys can get yourself to do some research and study with. What I will say though is that you really want to be careful, because there's something that someone is going to say, and they may say something that may fly over your head if you are not equipped to hear what they're saying. What I do feel is that there is going to be I just heard the word explosion. But I meant to say exposure, like an exposure of some type of like plan. There's an exposure of something, right? Like there's an I don't know why I keep wanting to say the word explosion. I keep wanting to say the word explosion. Some type of explosion or eruption, and it's brewing. Like it's not. And this is not anything to fear. Like this, I don't want to say that and then people start fearing it and say, oh my God, there's going to be oh my God, you know, I don't want you guys to do that. I don't want you to ever approach anything out of fear. I always want you to approach things with being prepared. I've already let you guys know what we can expect. One of the solutions that I feel like we have is, for one, I already told you guys, you know, several times, start your gardens, save your seeds. There's something about the soil. The soil is not as good as it used to be. Start adding nutrients to your soil if you can. Get with people, get with gardeners. There's so many people on the internet right now who have YouTube channels, who have been gardening for a while now. And I want you to start looking at their stuff. The word is homesteading. You want to make sure that you have that. You also want to make sure that you make amends with the people who you know need to be a part of your life, not because of survival, but because you know that there are some things that need to be let go of. And the reason is because we are stronger together. We have to understand the power of leaving our differences aside, and we have to understand the power that we have when we are together as a community. We are stronger together than we are apart. I want to keep saying that. There's this idea of watering. There's this idea of getting and just taking your time, but also stepping up into some type of role where you stand up. What I feel is that there is some type of leader, the King of Wands. The King of Wands can be a bit selfish at times, but he also will not reveal all of his motives. But at the same time, he'll talk so much to where he'll tell on himself. So what you want to do is you want to pay attention to the actions of this leader, but also you want to make sure that you have the community at heart. You can watch the actions, but at the same, I don't know why I keep hearing like the word foolery. There's something that is definitely being hinted right now that is going to be exposed. And I really feel like it's going to happen either during a full moon or during the Capricorn full moon, where something will be exposed. Now, moving away from the global aspect of it and diving deeper into the personal aspect in our lives, what this feels like is that there's some type of healing. There's some type of, and I don't want to keep using the word healing because I feel like it's constantly being used, but I keep hearing like the word reparation. There's something that you may have felt that was unfair, and I feel like these feelings may have came rushing back and it feels like overwhelming. But there are some things where you are choosing not to allow yourself to be limited by. You're choosing not to tune into that. You're choosing to pour more into yourself. You're choosing to invest in yourself. You're choosing to invest in the things that you feel bring you not comfort per se, but bring you security. This to me feels like making sure that you are investing in things that are nurturing you, that are watering you. You feel, or you may be in a space where you're called to really go internally to nurture yourself and to really shine a light and warmth on your womb. I don't know why I feel like this is like womb healing. And you also may be very connected to the beach. You may be someone who, and it's so interesting because we're in Cancer season. So see where Cancer sits in your chart right now. See where Cancer sits in your chart. Also look to see where the moon is transiting right now in your chart. Also look to see where your moon is. How can your identity, how can your sun sign, how can your sun cater to and be of service to your moon and the things that you have, that you feel within you, right? For example, my sun sign is Capricorn, but my moon sign is Sag. So my sun sign being in Capricorn in my tropical astrology chart, and with my moon being in Sag and tropical, what this makes me feel like is that I can use that Capricorn-like essence and energy to make real the philosophy within me. I can take a practical approach and really get the foundation down that can help support me as I share the intuitive aspect of me, which is very philosophical, which is very teacher-like, which is very Sagittarian. So whenever I told you guys that I have a really strong connection to Sag and Capricorn, I really meant that, because my chart is lit up with Jupiterian energy. It's lit up with Saturn energy, and it's lit up with Plutonian and Venus. So with that, I just use myself as that example. Let's just say, for example, if your sun sign is Gemini and your moon sign, let's just say, is Aries, right? Internally, you may feel, I don't want to say heated, but you may feel an urge to share yourself. You may feel an urge to get things done. You may feel an urge to fight. You may feel an urge to fight for what you believe in, for what you feel, right? You want to take that role and you want to be cardinal about your feelings and your emotions. And sometimes you may be reactive or not. But the thing is that sometimes when we're constantly being reactive because of how we feel, we may be very sensitive. Gemini can say, okay, this is what we're feeling, but how can I properly execute that? Through imagery, through imagination, through rapping, through music, right? Through storytelling, right? Getting myself in a space where I can share these ideas, I can share these thoughts, I can share what's on my heart, right? So that's the energy that I'm getting from this, with this moon and with the sun. With the sun does come enlightenment and illumination, and with the moon, there's this internal aspect. Something within you in your personal life is becoming illuminated, and you're starting to see the very things that you may not share. That's something that I'm feeling. Also, the fact that we do have the black and the white dog here, I feel like it's these constant opposites that you may have been at war with, or that you may have been tugging and pulling away from, or that may have had like a tug of war. What I'm seeing is that you're learning how to integrate those things. This is you integrating the shadow and the light, right? And when it comes to the outer world, when it comes to the globe, what we're learning how to do is integrate. We are integrating these different ideas, these aspects, and we're coming together so that we can know how to become illuminated and enlightened as a collective. This is collective enlightenment at hand right now, and what we're seeing is some of the worst sides of people. Also, there's something about the dark web that's coming through right now. I feel like there's going to be a lot more exposing as to what goes on behind the scenes. What I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is like a subterranean. There's something there's something under. I was also supposed to look at the word permeance. Let me go ahead and see what that word is. Let me see what that means. Hang on one second. Okay, so the word permeance refers to the ability of something to allow another substance, usually a fluid, gas, or energy, to pass through it. It's commonly used in physics, engineering, and material science, but it can also have poetic or metaphysical resonance depending on context. The literal definition of it is the measure of how easily a material allows something like air, water, or magnetic force to pass through it. In simpler terms, if something has high permeance, it allows things to move through it easily. If it has low permeance, it's more resistant or sealed. Okay, so that really does make sense when we're talking about this, because the fact that permeance refers to something that allows it to pass through easily. When we're talking about these government officials, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, permeance brings me to the idea of like being translucent. That's the reason why I heard that. So the fact that I heard permeance, the reason why is because their time is up, you guys. Like, their time is up. They really do not want for us to see the bullshit. They don't want us to see past the illusion, but that's the very thing. The fact that everything is happening now, people are waking up, and we understand that it's been an illusion. There's something that's going to happen a lot sooner than we think, and it's going to expose itself. And I'm seeing, like, for some people it will come as a shock, but at the same time it is a need for growth, right? I really do feel that what once was rigid or impenetrable, I feel like now it's going to start being porous, right? I feel like the truth is coming out. The fact that Jupiter is in a sign of Cancer, this for us means that we are allowing ourselves to be immersed deeper into the truth, our ancestral roots. Everything is being uprooted. That's another thing that I also heard too, was the fact that there has been a push again for remembrance, but also the breaking away of illusion, the breaking away of all things that were colonized. We've been talking about this a lot, you guys. We have been talking about this a lot. There's a lot of things that are happening right now. This permeating energy, I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot deeper past what they've been showing. Now, this is where I'm going to be one of those spiritual people who's not going to really, I don't want to say fit in with a lot of the spiritual community, but here's where I'm going to be real with you. I really want you to understand that law is meant to protect the spirit. It's one thing to be spiritual and say, oh, I have my, my apothecary, or I have my oils, and I got my candles, and, I got my, my pretty trinkets, and I have my, no shade to anyone, of course, no. I have my stuff, and, I've got all this, I've got my business, and that's great, and that's good. But I also want to start introducing to you guys the power of having your affairs together, the power of making sure that you identify how you need to identify in their system, because that's the one thing that I don't hear here enough that we talk about. We don't talk about that aspect enough. And I say that, and I say it because I'm living it right now, and I'm seeing the changes. I have seen the difference in how government officials deal with you when you know who you are. I am going to leave that there. I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm going to need it where it is. I'm going to go ahead and pull from the Lenormand deck. Let me go ahead and see what's going on with this deck. Spirit, what do you want to say from the Lenormand deck? Okay, that's... Okay. We have the Messenger here. We have the ring here, and we also have the snake. So this immediately is making me feel like these are like false promises. These are false promises that are being delivered. But the thing is that the things that are being promised are, or the things that are being shared, or the things that they're saying, this messenger here, it almost kind of makes me feel like those who will know the truth can see beyond the illusion. This snake here is definitely pointing me to someone who knows. This is symbolism. This is someone who speaks symbolism very well. This is someone who knows the power of the hidden realm. Like, it's the hidden realm is what I'm hearing. This Lenormand, I'm sorry. This ring here, this is something that was just, I want to say, permeating. This is something that has been happening for a long time now, and it was just this. Oh wow, we have the luck card here. Okay, look at that. See what I'm saying? Exactly. This is something that was done and had happened for years, but I feel like we're seeing past that, and what we're doing is we are creating a space where we can come together and form our own. Like, we are going to form our own. These are things that were rooted. These were things that were structured. They lasted a long time, but mark my words, I feel like it's going to keep crumbling. It is 100%. And we were just talking about government officials. This reading is really important. I'm so glad that I used this. I feel like there is an exposure. Why is the word expose? I don't know why the word's expose. Baby, I'm working. I will come out in a second. Okay. He's getting upset. He wants me to come out. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up in a second, you guys. Okay, we also have the book here. We talked about books. That's interesting. We talked about learning from books. This is knowledge that has been around for a long time. This clover, it's just, I don't know why I'm getting... Spirit, can you please explain this clover here? Hang on, you guys, real quick. Let me ask Spirit about this clover. Of course. Distribution. It's some type of like wealth distribution, and I don't know why I keep hearing like reparations. The more that people keep at it, the more that we keep letting them know we won't let up. We let them know that the very things that they've been doing to fund their own systems, the things that they've been doing to fund their own shit, when we keep demanding and when we step into our power, I really do feel like there's going to be some type of poor, like some type of wealth that will be distributed somehow. I just heard Spirit say put a pin in that. So I'm wondering if this means to come back to it later, or like, what does this mean? This is really making me feel, you guys, like it's gonna be, I don't know why it's like it's almost kind of giving me like a random draw, but it's gonna come. This is someone or some type of like wealth distribution that will come, and it's going to make someone's day. It's just lottery. You may have been waiting for something, and I feel like at this point, if you were wronged in some type of like system or like court system, I feel like you may get some type of money coming from that. Or if you were waiting on something, or like I don't know, if like a divorce, or I mean, really it could be anything. If anything, dealing with some type of like government official, like the divorce was probably final and you're now in a space where you can receive those funds or whatnot, or whatever it may be. Or maybe it was like a long drawn out court battle and now you're in a space where you can finally receive the things that you've been waiting for. Either way it goes with this messenger, there's something about this where they're gonna expose something, you guys. They are going to expose something. I want you to understand that none of these officials are for the people. They are for the trusts. They put their faith in the trusts, in the trust of the people. And the trust of the people means that the United States is a corporation, and and just like any other corporation or business, right? It being a corporation means it's a business. They have trusts. And when you operate from a trust, those trusts, basically what you do with those is you have your assets and whatnot, and that makes you not personally liable for really anything. We can go deeper into that later, but for whatever reason, I'm being called to tell you guys trust, like trust. Look up trusts. Look up what they're used for. That's a subject that I'm not going to be getting into because I don't want to change what I'm doing here. But that is what I will say. We'll put a pin in that for later. That is what I feel like I want to say. And that is it. That is all. This reading, what I want you to do, again, to wrap this up, to do like a short recap, is I really want you to start getting to know your neighbors. I want you to start, again, save those seeds. I want you to start getting your gardens ready. I want you to start saving what you can, right? And I don't want you to panic, because what is happening now, the destruction that's happening, is good. I'm glad that this is happening for all of us, because now we can do things our way as a community. I want you to start doing a lot more of what you love, because what you are doing, your work, your calling, your purpose, your mission, it's all going to align, and it all means something. So please continue to do the best you can in your work and come together and all of those amazing, beautiful things. I love you guys. I hope that this reading did help. If y'all need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at the Saiyonanpath.org. Also, I want to say this too. I have been called to create a space where I can integrate everything when it comes to BDSM, when it comes to magic, when it comes to ceremony, when it comes to art, poetry, all of those things. I'm tired of separating those, and also Spirit is saying not to anymore. All of them mean something, and all of them are a part of the same space, and they will be a part of the same space. So be on the lookout for that. Magic of Eden, the YouTube channel and the Instagram page, it'll be used, you know, maybe for like service level readings or things like that. But to go deeper, to dive deep into, you know, all of these different things that I may not share on the internet, I want you guys to go onto the website, into the Ethereum or the Saiyonan archives. That's where you're going to start finding more of the readings and other things. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys some teachings over the years. Thank you all so much for staying this long if you did. I love you guys, and I will catch you in my next video.